From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordeaux, and this is your News 8 Daily for Tuesday, July 28th. Storms are done that we had yesterday, but do expect some fog this morning, possible showers as well. Temps are going to be warm yet again, a high of around 85 degrees.
Your day moves fast. Your news should too. That's why there's a new and improved Wish TV app, bringing you more local news, breaking alerts, live streaming, weather forecast, radar, and Indiana sports, all in one place. Customize your news feed to see the stories that matter most to you and get the information you need when you need it. Download the new and improved Wish TV app today on iOS or Android and take News 8 with you everywhere.
Wish TV is your education station. Starting this school year, schools in Indiana will have to teach about the dangers of alternative tobacco and nicotine products like vaping. News 8's government reporter Garrett Bergquist found out what this will mean for your child.
Schools in Indiana already were required to teach about the dangers of tobacco use. This new law adds some specifics. The language is part of a broader education bill approved this spring. Schools now must teach about the effects of tobacco, including tobacco alternatives and nicotine products. The old law was not that specific.
Public health has done a great job educating young people over the last 20 plus years on the harms and dangers of traditional cigarettes. And so all of these newer products that Big Tobacco have put out on the in the marketplace have really increased in usage, and we need to keep up with educating young people on the products that they are actually using.
Schools also now must teach about the effects of alcohol, tobacco, and drugs at least 3 times, twice between grades K through 8 and a third time between grades 9 and 12. The old law did not specify when or how often classes needed to cover it.
They may have older siblings or family members that they see using them, so you want to hit them then you want to hit them again once they get into the middle school age and they're beginning to experiment. And then finally, you want to hit them when they're thinking that they're of age when they should be able to make their own decisions.
The latest annual National Youth Tobacco Survey from the FDA found use of all tobacco products is dropping among teens. Less than 10% of high school students reported using any form of tobacco last year. So did about 4% of middle schoolers. But e-cigarettes are by far the most used product. Traditional cigarettes are third after nicotine pouches.
We continue to see e-cigarettes way out in the lead because they're the preferred choice of young people. And many of them come in those fruity flavors that attract kids to initially try them.
Nichols says school programs on tobacco effects always include people educated on that specific subject, as well as the latest research. She says the number one way to keep kids from using tobacco is to model a tobacco-free lifestyle yourself. Nichols says that's why parents are still the first line of defense.
Kids do what they see, and if they see a parent doing something, they automatically think that it must be okay.
Nichols says Quit Now Indiana is a great resource if you're looking for help quitting tobacco use. I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
A $44 million expansion is underway at historic Crispus Attucks High School here in Indianapolis. IPS broke ground on the project yesterday that will add 4 specialty classrooms, an advanced health lab, and a regulation-sized gym. The expansion is backed by a $25 million investment from IU Health and the Indy Health District, along with IPS bond funding.
So much pride about Crispus Attucks. Today's event was full of Crispus Attucks alums who continue to be really active in the school. And so we want to continue to cultivate that pride, to cultivate that legacy, and most importantly, ensure that the spaces our students are in every day reflect the love and care that we have for them.
The project is expected to be done by the winter of 2028. Many students across central Indiana are heading back to school this week. Hard to believe because it's still July, but That's where we're at. Perry Township, Beech Grove, Brownsburg, and Clark Pleasant Community Schools all start tomorrow. Noblesville, Avon, and Warren Township go back on Thursday. Greenfield, Hamilton, Southeastern Schools, Plainfield all start school next week. In our 7 o'clock hour, we're going to have some live interviews on Wish TV Daybreak with the superintendent of Warren Township Schools ahead of students returning to class on Thursday. We're going to have these live interviews with different superintendents throughout the next week and a half on Wish TV Daybreak. Police in McCordsville say they have found a missing 14-year-old girl safe. Officials say they located Addie Strange yesterday with the help of local and federal law enforcement. State police declared a silver alert for her over the weekend. McCordsville police say the investigation is still active and they cannot release any further details at this time. The Hancock County Prosecutor's Office says it will not be filing charges in last week's road rage shooting that left one man dead near the Hancock and Marion County line. Prosecutors say that the man who died, 37-year-old Kevin Powell, started the confrontation between him and the other driver. They say he also aggressively approached the driver twice despite being told to stop. Prosecutors decided that no charges will be filed since they believe the other driver was acting in self-defense. They also say multiple witnesses and statements helped them come to that conclusion. New data reveals young adults are seeking debt counseling at record rates. The average Gen Zer has an average unsecured debt balance of more than $22,000 from credit cards to personal loans. Kara Kenny with Indiana's I-Team is digging into what's behind the growing debt trend and why technology may be the silver lining.
Artificial intelligence platforms like ChatGPT are driving a lot of Gen Zers to get help with debt. The nonprofit Money Management International says they're seeing a huge increase in young people finding them with the help of AI. Rahana Tusuli is a 22-year-old Gen Zer living in Carmel. She's had multiple credit cards and used them to pay for college books and supplies, clothing, groceries, her wedding, you name it.
Something I didn't know is that they do add interest to it. Even though you do minimum payments, they'll add interest to it.
She ended up $9,000 in credit card debt.
We're not educated enough on how to use money, financial and management.
She's not alone in her struggle. Gen Z adults ages 18 to 29 years old carry an average unsecured debt balance of $22,000. Unsecured debt means it's not backed up by property like a car or a house. Money Management International, a national nonprofit, says they've had a 35% increase in Gen Z clients over the last year. And in that time, the average Gen Zer's debt has increased 12%.
You know, younger people are less likely rather to have assets to fall back on or, other long-term savings accounts to fall back on when they fall into trouble with their finances. They typically are more reliant on credit as an extension of their income rather than falling back on assets that they might have.
Meanwhile, monthly living expenses are on the rise. Things like rent, gas, groceries, insurance often cost more. MMI says the good news is technology is helping people find counseling faster. A record high number of clients are coming to MMI through ChatGPT.
They're using new and emerging ways of problem solving. And I think ChatGPT does a great job of warming people up to having that conversation.
Rahana Tusuli found MMI through her credit card company. She's working on paying down her debt.
I pay $183 every single month for both of my credit cards that I have on there.
She works and goes to college and wishes she had done more research before turning to plastic.
Having a credit card is such a big responsibility. You have to be very responsible to have a credit card, because it will catch up to you eventually.
The average interest rate for a credit card right now is around 23%. MMI says their average client starts off by paying their balance in full, but it only takes one incident, like losing your job or a hospital bill, to throw you into debt. I'm Kara Kenny with Indiana's I-Team.
Former FBI Director James Comey's legal team has asked a federal judge to dismiss the case against him over a social media post. The image posted last year showed seashells that spelled 8647 on the beach. The term 86 is used as slang to get rid of, and Donald Trump is the 47th president. In April, Comey was charged with making a threat against the president and transmitting a threat in interstate commerce. Comey's lawyers say the government cannot prove that the post constituted a true threat against the president. The man convicted of murdering 4 University of Idaho students in 2022 is asking a court to withdraw his guilty plea and go to trial. Brian Koberger filed a post-conviction relief form in Idaho courts yesterday. In his request, he says the attorneys did not adequately represent him and that his guilty plea was not knowingly or voluntarily entered. He says his lawyers manipulated him into taking the guilty plea by promising him better prison conditions and scaring him about the quality of life on death row. He was convicted last year and is serving 4 life sentences without parole. Happening today, the Colts are moving into Grand Park for training camp. A couple of players will be sidelined, though, once practice kicks off tomorrow. The team announced that wide receiver Alec Pierce and rookie linebacker C.J. Allen are both on the physically unable to perform list. Pierce is still recovering from an offseason ankle injury, and Allen is dealing with a calf injury. However, quarterback Daniel Jones will be on the field. He said on the Pat McAfee show yesterday he's been cleared for all activities. You can see the full schedule for training camp this week right now at wishtv.com. First practice starts at 10 tomorrow morning, runs until 11. Colts will host an evening practice also from 4 to 5:30 on Saturday. For the full training camp schedule, go to our website, wishtv.com. Fever on the road against the Seattle Storm tonight. Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston should be warmed up for the West Coast road trip because the trio played in the WNBA All-Star Game this weekend. Mitchell says playing with Clark has really improved her own performance.
I think that with Cece, I think her game constantly grows with her passing ability. So for me, it's always being in a position to be ready for the ball in any situation, in any way, shape, or form. She's enhanced my game in different ways.
Tip-off for tonight's game is set for 9:30. The Marion County Prosecutor's Office is using basketball to help kids stay away from crime. The office hosted its annual youth basketball clinic yesterday. Organizers say it's focused on the fundamentals of basketball and creating a positive environment for kids. Prosecutor Ryan Mears says the clinic's goal is to bring young people together across the county and build friendships.
It's more about just basketball. We're also handing out book bags that are loaded up with school supplies because we want those kids to have the tools to be successful when they walk in to school this week or in the next couple of weeks. And so for us, it's really about creating those opportunities and those moments where we can have positive interactions with kids.
Mears also says sports are just a great way to teach leadership and teamwork to kids. Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, the Four Tops, and the Spinners are set to perform opening night of the State Fair. Fair officials made the announcement yesterday. It comes after the Beach Boys had to cancel their opening night concert, saying they needed to take a break, though they plan to return next year. The new concert is set for August 7th at 7:30 on the Hoosier Lottery stage. Singer Bret Michaels has postponed his State Fair concert now from August 12th. In an announcement on his website, Michaels' team says doctors have instructed him to take 3 to 4 weeks off after a recent surgery. Michaels had a kidney stone obstruction that caused him to need an immediate operation. State Fair says a concert to replace Michaels will be announced soon. Wish TV will be out at the fairgrounds for opening day of the State Fair. It is for our last Wish You Were Here stop of the summer. So come out, meet our team, our whole Wish TV crew. We're going to be live at the fair opening day from 3 to 6:30. That's Friday next week, August 7th. So be sure to come on out and say hello. We really hope to see you there. This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on Wish TV and wishtv.com.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.